I can see many long-term friend faces, and also many young faces. Yeah, this is, in a way, for your information, I know of Thosamling Nunnery since as early as 1927, 26.
We started building 2003.
2003. So in fact, I already know of the existence of Thosamling. In fact, I also remember His Holiness, they visited. Yeah, and each one of you, how did you come to Thosamling? By the small lane, flying or walking, or drove? How many you drove to this point? How many walking? Raise hands. Huh? All of you. Okay, which means that all of us, we walked the same trail His Holiness walked. Let's not forget it. It's the same trail, believe it or not. Otherwise, we talk about, we are treading the same, the land on which His Holiness treaded. But here is something which is so unique on this planet Earth, which most likely did not happen anywhere else. Only here in Thosamling, that all of us, we have to tread this, the same path which His Holiness actually treaded, actually took the steps. It's not like, maybe this side, that side. No, this is the only way. We are all very fortunate, extremely fortunate. This is so precious. And we came here in this hall, where His Holiness actually came, blessed, very fortunate. And the next over 1 week, right? Exactly 1 week or more, or 8 days. Total how many days?
2 days.
Retreat.
I think 8 days.
Okay, total 8 days. It's going to be quite a rigorous program, quite intense program, but don't be scared. Sometimes people, the little elders, I would say, that when somebody is so enthusiastic, I want to go to Geshe-la's retreat. Some other elders who are very experienced, they will say, are you sure? Do you have this energy? Okay, but don't worry, because I myself, I'm a little sick. Yeah, the last 3 days I was sick, and I was just very apprehensive whether I could make it or not make it. That was the situation that I was in. And then I did not disclose it. So first I wanted to have the COVID test. I did it, and it came out negative. And then I decided, even if I'm sick, still I'll come. As long as I'm not COVID, I come here. And if it's very severe, I can take 1 extra day rest. So meanwhile, hoping to get well, because there's so many of you. I can see many young faces, and even the others who came here for the first time. Your resources, your time, your scheduling, and with some expectation that you learn something from this program. And then I just could not bear to think of me easily saying, no, I will cancel it. So I rather would come. I rather would come and rest here, letting people know that I'm sick, so you can empathize with me. And then 1 day rest from me, and then I can see how much I can run with you. Okay, now I'm almost, if you had to tell me from 0 to 10 how much you recovered, I would say 9.9% recovered. 9.9 out of 10. Okay, so nothing to worry about. Okay, with this, I'm going to quickly share with you what we're going to do from tomorrow. So we expect to meet every morning. every morning at 6 o'clock, which means 5 to 6 we all should be here, 5 to 6. And then the Sirin Tudula will help. Your name? Saheli. Saheli. Okay, Sirin Tudula will help Saheli to identify the mantra, Buddham Sharanam Gacchami mantra, which we use for the Bodhicitta retreats. 5 minutes. 5 minutes we all make prostration together. This is one thing that we do. Then following that, we offer lights. We offer tea lights. All of us will do the light offering. And when you do the light offering, what you do is that we'll offer the lights. Once the lights are all completed, then some of the staff or some younger ones can take them down to not to have collection of the fume. So much fume gets collected. So to remove that, we will take once offered, then we will take this out. Will be placed outside. Okay. And when you offer the lights, when you offer the prostrations, when you offer the lights, let us always try our best. I'm sure that there are many of you who have been into the Buddhist teachings for like 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, so forth. But let us not forget to keep this in mind, that whenever we do, say, the offer lights or make prostrations, always imagine that you're offering these lights, not only just one light, or physically you're offering only one light, but mentally you imagine that you offer many lights, innumerable lights to all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas, and the lights are symbolic of the wisdom. In dark you don't see what is around you. With ignorance you don't know the reality. So with light you see it removes the obscuration which blurs you from having the vision of the reality. So this light is symbolic of the wisdom, and without wisdom then we see that we don't know how to get out of the problems, and we don't know how to solve the problems, relationship problems, parent-children relationship, husband-wife, and so forth, the boss, employee, all these relationship problems, they come into being because of not having the wisdom. So this light is symbolic of offering the light of the wisdom. Light of the wisdom, not just one single light, but as in infinite number of lights. Imagine that you're offering them to all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas. And then, not only that, imagine that not only you're offering your two parents, all the family members, including children, and all dear Mother Sentient beings, they make the offering of the lights along with you to all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas. So if you can do that, physically what you're doing is just you are offering one light. But merit that you're accumulating is going to be just million times, trillion times more. So it's the one act, but the benefit is so much. It is like for an ordinary person putting up let's say the ordinary person just putting signature, and then somebody, a CEO of a big company, put a signature. There's a huge difference there. Although in both cases you put one signature there, but one person put a signature, there's the turnover of like trillions of dollars happening. Whereas for ordinary people, you just put one signature, what turn up? It's just maybe like $100 or $10, whatever. So where it's just a matter of how you think. If you could think it creatively to include all the sentient beings, the merit that you accumulate is going to be that number multiplied by, so whatever you have done, multiplied by like the infinite number of times. This is the benefit that you accrue if you're able to think properly. So with this in mind, then the next question, I'm sure most of you will ask, what is merit? Right? What is merit? Okay. It is like, let's say that the same a car, a very simple car, a simple, very inexpensive car, and a very expensive car. So generally speaking, I'm sure that you agree with me that the difference between the two is that one, you drive it, and as the speed picks up, as it takes the maximum speed, like 150 kilometers, then what happens? The car starts to move like this. At a point, say with a little error here and there, the car will just take the wrong direction off the track. Whereas the very expensive cars, it doesn't mean it's very fancy cars, very good cars. So where even if you run like 200 kilometers, still is very steady. So there's something there more than which the cheap cars they don't have. So likewise, somebody who follows this path, right, very intelligent. There are two people there, physically look same, two eyes, one nose, same. These two people, they look so alike. They are both enthusiastic about the dharma, study the dharma, and then as you go, pick up the speed, we see that one person, although can be very enthusiastic initially, then suddenly the person will drop and disappear. Another person is very consistently moving, progressing so fast, exponentially, and will come to the clean completion of the journey, whereas the other could not complete the journey. So the expression is, you remember, the slow and steady wins the race. Steady, the steadiness, where there's weight, gravity there. So that is given. This is what is known as the merit accumulation. So with the merit accumulation, that sustains you. However great a speed they run, still your mind will not be affected. That you will be consistent and you will bring about a clean completion in your journey of the spirituality. It's not an easy task, particularly as you go through the Bodhicitta. You see that experience of the joy, experience of the happiness that you feel, because this Bodhicitta practice is something that we've never experienced before. Even if you are considered as somebody who is extremely kind person, but the kindness, the compassion that you feel, the otherwise like a gifted quality, versus the compassion that you build through your practice of bodhicitta, you see that the two there's a stark contrast in the quality of the compassion. This is what you will learn over time. Then the number two is the wisdom of emptiness. The wisdom of emptiness, where we go through. Okay, by the way, how many have been through life challenges of your life? Some very acute, disturbing situations where you just almost went to the extent of giving up. I'm just hopeless. Resents? Okay, I've no such experience. Resents? I've no such experience. I've never had such experience. Okay, which means that if you've never experienced such things, don't worry. There are many. There are many such moments awaiting you, right? Okay, don't worry. So these are all these moments are there waiting for you. Whereas if we did go through, gone through these experiences ourselves, then we see that sometimes we are so desperate to say that time heals, right? Say something that happened to you like 10 years ago, and you felt so hopeless, and now after 10 years, when you in retrospect, if you think about that moment, you feel that, okay, fine, somehow I'm out of this problem, right? But you don't wait for 10 years to get out of such problems. Try to get the wisdom of emptiness. get a flare of the wisdom of emptiness, and you go through these tensions yourself. You go through these the states, the miserable states, like on the verge to break, on the verge to give up. Think about emptiness. Instantly, believe it or not, instantly it will give you the relief. Instant. You don't have to wait for the time to heal you. It's instant healing. But it's not that easy. Just 1 week workshop will not help you to have the wisdom of emptiness. So 1 week workshop will tell you where is Mount Everest. It can tell you that is Mount Everest. It doesn't mean that you are there in Mount Everest. You're getting it? It'll help you to identify the Mount Everest from 50 kilometers away, or from 100 kilometers away. You can, oh, that is Mount Everest. And then your job is, yeah, that is Mount, wow, that's amazing, magnificent. What should you do? Walk. Okay, so this will help us to identify what the Mount Everest is, where the Mount Everest is, what the Mount Everest is, and then your job is to walk. Right? Okay. So this is one thing. Another thing that I will share with you is that the morning practice, usually we do it for 2 hours, but since last time in Diabha program, we shortened it depending on multiple factors. So we just make it like 1.5 hours, and the same. If there is 1 or 2 people with health issues, 1 or 2 with health issues, where you need more rest, you are exempted. Otherwise, you came here voluntarily. So the morning practice is must. Is a part of it, part of this program. And why this morning practice is so important is for the reason that we learn about the Bodhicitta, the retreat. It consists of the multiple lot of information. You're bound to get a lot of information. Within a very short span of time, you're bound to get a lot of information. And of course, whether you want to get all the information, or just a part of it, or disconnected, is entirely up to the individual. If you are very consistent with this 7-day program, no doubt you will get so many information within a short span of time, and very useful information, and you like to look for ways and means to process this information. And for the processing it, which means to internalize this information, we need to learn how to practice your Dharma on a daily basis. So the morning sessions is primarily dedicated for us to learn how to practice whatever we're going to learn the next 7 days in the form of application, applying this into our day-to-day life. So that's for that purpose. And the first 2 days is going to be a little slower. I cannot complete the whole procedure. Most likely on the 3rd, 4th days, then we will be able to complete the whole thing within the morning session, taking the aspiration Bodhisattva, which is extremely precious. Later on, you will come to discover that this is something which is the core, essence of the practice of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. And then we are able to learn how to do that ourselves. And His Holiness know that you are doing this practice. This is going to be the one that will make him the happiest person in the world. That's going to be your greatest gift for His Holiness. Instead of offering so many things to His Holiness, please live long, you practice this bodhicitta the way we are doing in the mornings, and this will make His Holiness really feel happy to live long, that he will see a purpose in living long for the sentient beings. Okay, this is one thing. Then alongside we also have, okay, so before we go further, if you have this book already, The Blaze of Non-Dual Bodhicitta, the brown one, yes. Okay, I would highly recommend you to, if you don't own a copy yourself, your own copy, I would highly recommend you to go for that, because this book is not what you get elsewhere. It's published by Tibet House, and then what you're getting is just at a very, very basic nominal cost. That's it. And it's actually like a kind of free, because each book, the amount of the work that we put in for the last like 12, 13, 14 years effort, and many people's hands were involved there, and the end is you will not get this book anywhere in the world. This is what I'm saying. So make it a point that you have your own copy. This is required, and every now and then I'll refer to this book. There are many things, particularly people who are into Dharma for many years, more than 5 years, they dependent on English. They see this book, they will help you identify what this book is like. For them, this is like a treasure. This is the book that they've been looking for all the many years, everything put together in the compilation, and it is right there. So don't think that it's just to sell a book. And the people, they are Mr. Sirindrula, he brought all this from Delhi to here, and so these all efforts are there. So the cost that we are paying for this is just nothing as compared to the actual cost of this. So in a way, we can't. One person cannot expect to have 2 or 3 copies. You can get your own copy, and that keep them with you, and you will find it extremely useful later on. Yeah, and of course for the next 1 week, this book should be always with you during your morning practice, in the classes, and also during the food. Before the food, we make the food offering. Even the food offering is also included in this book. And anything that I'd like to share with you is that I may request the Venerable Petronla and Venerable Tenzala that when we make the food offering, before we make the food offering, so actually it's the same book. This one and the brown one, this was the same book. The only thing is that this was the potential new cover. Yeah. Otherwise, content wise is just same. And from this, we will read before we make the food offering. From this, we will read like 20 verses every time before we have the food. Why? The reason is that we do extensive studies in the classes, and when you read this text, you will see that many of the points which we study, you will see them all put in different forms in the other texts. So that way, that suffices us going through 2 classes together simultaneously. One, the class that we're doing, otherwise just by reading you will get many information, because that the background information is already given to you from the classes. So that way, within a short span of time, you will be very fortunate that we're able to do many things, study many things within a short span of time. Okay, so this is one thing. So with this in mind, let us turn to page 3. Okay, otherwise what we'll do is that today we'll recite the Ye Dharma mantra on page 6, and most of you already know the mantra by heart. Yeah. Okay. So let us, setting a proper motivation. Of course, from tomorrow we'll do I will give you more detailed the instructions on how to set the motivation. So here, we just visualize Buddha Shakyamuni, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas in the space in front of you, so loving, caring, and embracing. And also, as I said earlier, so all the enlightened beings like Jesus Christ or Lord Mahavir and so forth, all those who you see as a source of the inspiration, of blessings, of wisdom, of compassion, you can also visualize them in front of you. And imagine that your two parents on your two sides, and all your family members, including children, and all dear Mother Sentient beings living on the other side, all those who died due to COVID-19, all those who also died due to the wars such as the Ukraine war, and the people they died otherwise as well. Let's all visualize them around you. And some of you may feel uncomfortable to think of your parents with you, where you have some complication with your parents. So this retreat is going to be a very special retreat in ways to revolutionize our thinking. The fact that we have the discrepancy with your parents and feel, say, the little bit, the uncomfortable over to think of your parents, mother, and so forth. These are all the indications of our being ordinary person. So with this retreat, we are trying to transcend being ordinary. Why I'm saying this is not that everybody has a complication with your parents, but some do have complication with your parents. If you do belong to this category, don't worry, no need to feel guilty of. The only thing is that we're learning how to transcend this. As long as you don't feel this love and affection towards your parents, then you can't be a happy person. And we're here to learn how to be happy. And whereas we can understand some people whose parents, they themselves, they do not have a happy childhood. So we're not to blame these parents, but that is 1 out of 1,000. So most of us, if you have some issues, is the issue which came up after you become 16 or 17 years old, not before that. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you do have some issues with your parents, these issues came only after when you were aged 14, 15, 16, not before that. Which means you have to consider what's the reason, So that reason we're going to overturn it. But we are becoming more matured through this retreat. Okay, with this in mind, let us recite the verse first, the verse, Refuge in Bodhicitta verse, which is on page 4. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Sanje Joda Zoge Jonam La Chanjo Bado Dane Gyapsoch Tage Jinso Gebe Sonam Ge Dola Benjo Sanje Dubare Shu Sanje Joda Zoge Jonam La Chanjo Bado Dane Gyapsoch Tage Jinso Gebe Sonam Ge Dola Benjo Sanje Dubare Shu Sanje Joda Zoge Jonam La Chanjo Bado Dane Gyapsoch Tage Jinso Gebe Sonam Ge Dola Benjo Sanje Dubare Shu. Okay, recite the Yedharma mantra, page 6, the essence of dependent origination mantra. And those of us who know how to sing this will sing with me. And those of us who do not know how to sing this, just listen to us and join us. Om Yedharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetu Visham Datagato Yavatat Desham Chayo Nirodha Evam Mahashamanaye Swaha. Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Dathagato Yavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashamanaye Swaha. Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Dathagato Yavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashamanaye Swaha. At the meaningful mantra, all phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation of causes as well is taught by the great seer. Okay, for all these mantras, we need to know the meanings. And okay, so I'll try to explain this meaning today after a little bit of the things to be informed to you. Okay, and as a part of the retreat from tomorrow, we're going to have Venerable Tenzila. We're going to have the group discussions. We all know that. For this group discussions, we need to, given that there are about like 60 of us here, I will break this into 4 groups. And tonight, if say Tenzila will work on this to split into 4 groups, and each group we will assign somebody who has been attending these retreats, earlier retreats, who know how to lead. Yes, to lead. And then from the second, third day, then you can the group, whichever group you are in, and then the people will take turn to. The job is just not really to lead as something, but you become like the moderator. Okay, same what have we discussed thus far, and so that from the group, one person does not really spend a lot of time talking. Give equal chance to everybody, and as much as possible, try to make sure that whatever is being covered in the class, they're being discussed first before you go too much into the discussions. Otherwise, one small discussion can take the whole time. So to make sure that such things do not happen, we need the moderator. Yeah. And the moderator's job is to make sure that everybody gets a chance to speak. That's very important. Okay. And for the classes, yes, I know that there are a number of you who have been with me for 1 year, 2 years, many years, and there are many new faces also, and particularly some of you may feel a little excited to write. Okay, I have so many questions today. I must take advantage to ask all these questions. So all question and answers will be left at the last, meaning that within the session, the last 10 minutes will give for question and answers. Sometimes I may be the one who is going to be carried away too much, and who may forget to leave the 10 minutes question and answer session, right? Otherwise, somebody. Last time there is one gentleman, Matthews, who tells me the time. Okay, now it's time up. Okay, Tenzila, you can assign somebody to okay, say like the last 5 minutes, last 10 minutes, we'll give for question answers, One. And meanwhile, all these classes are very interactive. Very interactive. It doesn't mean that you can interrupt me anytime you like, right? Interactive to make sure that you don't feel sleepy. That's the purpose. And that the seed of wisdom is being activated, right? So that interaction happens. Okay, anyone? Then your mind, okay, he may point to me, right? So the wisdom of the seed of wisdom will be activated right there, right? So this is how our intelligence is being activated. This is how we grow intelligence. So intelligence, when we speak of intelligence, there are two. Somebody with a rich information, this one we also call as intelligent person. Another person who may not have rich information, but who can think very profoundly. There's also another intelligence. And somebody who can learn so many things within a short span of time. Vastness, depth, clarity, profundity. There are various versions of intelligence. So that it never ever think that, okay, now he's talking about intelligence, I'm not intelligent. When in school, I always failed in science, I'm a hopeless person in science. Don't ever underestimate yourself. Even intelligence is also something that you can cultivate. So that is a great opportunity for us, believe it or not. What I want is that, okay, how many are well versed in Buddhism the 5 years? Raise hands. Well versed in Buddhism, last 5 years. Okay, if you're not, then you are not qualified for this retreat. Okay, this is not the case. One time what happened was that one institution was thinking of inviting me to give to do Bodhicitta retreat, and for that purpose, the staff from that institute came to attend one Bodhicitta retreat somewhere else, and just observe, the technicalities with which I teach the class. And then later on, two of them reported to me that, Geshe, for the Bodhicitta retreat in our institute, shall we announce that the participants should have some exposure to Buddhism already, because what you teach is very technical. Two of them, they were already exposed to Buddhism for the last many years. They said that what you teach is so technical that the people without exposure to Buddhist philosophy would find it difficult to follow. So should we announce it like this? I said, no, I only need two things. The participants, I expect two things from the participants. Number one is consistency. Number two is the passion. If you have the passion to be a part of this program, and if you want to be consistent, these two things, that is what I want from you. And there may be one or two who do not have time, who crave to be here but do not have time, can spend only 1 or 2 days with us, already confirmed. This is an exception. This is an exception. Otherwise, what I would say is that, okay, let me see what is this class like, right? If not so interesting, then I'll leave. Okay, if this is the thing, then the one is not qualified to sit for this class. So as long as you have a passion for this class, number one. Number two, consistency, right? Just be consistent with this class. Be consistent. Believe it or not, that at the end of the day, completion towards the closing of this program, you come to learn that you've learned a lot. You go through your own notes, you come to learn that you've learned a lot within a short span of time. Okay, so this is what I can assure you. I only want two things from you. One is your passion. Number two is your consistency. Okay, this is what I'm expecting from you. Okay, and then whether this retreat is going to be the observing silence or not, this question. So, Bodhicitta retreat is there are various kinds of retreats. One is a single-pointed meditation. other one is analytical meditation. And what is required is not that one is better than the other. Both are equally required, like the two wings of the same bird. It's not that the right wing is more important than the left. Which is more important? Left wing or the right wing? Both. There's no difference. So likewise, analytical meditation and single point meditation, both are equally required. But you say, what's the purpose of analytical? Analytical meditation is the one which helps you to transform your mind. Transformation of the mind happens through analytical meditation. And to stabilize this experience, we need a single point of meditation, shamatha meditation. So these two are both are required. It's not that one is over the other. Both are required. Let's not forget this. So with this in mind, given that what you're doing is a blend of the two, single point of meditation as well as the analytical meditation, and within such a short span of time, believe it or not, you're going to learn a lot, and you will realize that only after you having left a place and then you get your own respective places, you go through your notes, then you realize that you have learned a lot. Okay, so because of this, that it involves sharpening of your intelligence. For the sharpening of the intelligence, it's not like sitting and it will not happen like this. So they just stay away from the unnecessary gossips. Stay away from all the unnecessary gossips. If you do talk on what we discussed in the class, what we learned in the class. So just don't waste your time one week. If you're so keen on gossip, you will keep that, reserve that after the retreat, right? So within this, I say where all the conversations should be around, let's say about what you've learned from the class. Maybe the last day you have to prepare to leave, your bus tickets, all these things you have to think of, right? That's exception. Otherwise, I would suggest is that say your talk is all about the teachings, nothing outside that. And then the evening, there's optional group discussion there, optional evening after dinner. So that will happen in the Gompa. Everybody will, not everybody, it's optional. Anybody who likes to be a part of this, so it's going to be optional. And all four groups, anybody who is interested will come in the Gompa and do the group discussion here for 1 hour. So that's in the program there, is from 7:30 to 9. And those of us who are not coming to the optional evening group discussion, then after dinner till the next morning, silence. Observing silence. Only if you are coming for the group discussion, that is exception. Otherwise, the silence will be observed from the dinner time till the next morning. Okay. And the classes are going to be interactive. Interactive meaning that once in a while I ask you questions, I make you raise hands and so forth. Just be a part of it. Don't underestimate yourself. There are so many people who are already so good in it. So therefore, there's no point in me. Just take part in this. The more you take part in this, more you will come to realize that you are actually growing within the short span of time. Okay, with this, I like to wind us up here, and we'll recite the Heart Sutra mantra on page 29, I think. Page 31. We'll recite this Heart Sutra mantra 21, not 21 times, 7 times together. And again, we have to know the meanings. Know the meanings? Okay, I also told you that I'm going to explain the verse. Okay, since that, how many of you don't have this book in your hand, or how many of you don't have to be shared with somebody? How many of you have it, or you can share with somebody? Raise hands. Okay, what I want is I want the mantra. He Dharma Hetu Prabhava, this mantra. Essence of dependent origination mantra. I want this mantra. Okay. If you for example, Ravila, he knows it by heart. Okay, those of us who know this by heart, that's fine. Otherwise, make sure that you have the book with you. I'm going to quickly explain this mantra, because mantras we recite, whatever rituals that we engage in, we must know the meaning. If you don't know the meaning, it's just, I won't say the waste of time, that it's a great loss of your time, because finally this should bring about change in the mind. From tomorrow you can learn that the whole purpose of being together here, purpose of the engaging in some practice, is to bring about change in your mind, to discover your true nature within you. For that matter, to bring about change. And if you don't know the meaning, there's nothing really changing within your mind. So therefore, we must know the meaning. Okay. Essence of dependent origination mantra. This mantra the Buddha actually taught in many places. One place where the Buddha taught was in the heaven. Heaven, when the Buddha was there for about the 3 months there, he taught it there, and in the group, the Bodhisattva, the group, or the congregation presided by the Buddha, and Aravalokteshvara was there, and all the many Bodhisattvas are there, the gods and goddesses. Then Aravalokteshvara stood up, made prostration to the Buddha, and informed the Buddha that so many gods and goddesses, they came to pay visit to you and to learn from you how to accumulate enormous amount of merit within a short span of time. Then the Buddha taught this Dharma mantra, because this is so precious, and that from tomorrow we see that this mantra will be like the ground on which our teachings will happen. And once you know this meaning, it's very important for us to recite this, use this mantra in the first place, like a mirror for us, like a mirror. And how many use mirror every day, with hands? Oh, strange, nobody uses. How many you look at the mirror every day? Raise hands, raise hands. One day is fine, no? Why do you have to look at the mirror every day? Why not? Why you have to look at it every day? Why? Because every day you will make sure that you are perfectly right. Likewise, every day you have to remind ourselves of how my mind should behave. So this mantra should be like a mirror for us, that every day we recite it not for the sake of recitation, to use that as a mirror to see where I'm going wrong, where I should fix myself, where I need to improve myself. So this is how this mantra is extremely useful. And as we know the meaning, you come to realize that usually people have a very naive understanding. That mantra means it will give you some miracle power, right? Say I'm going on a business trip, right? On a business trip. So what mantra should I recite so I can get more money? Or say I'm going for a holiday. What mantra should I say so my holiday will be very enjoyable? This is all the indication of our being very naive. Mantra is not for that purpose. So that my illness will go away, right? No, mantra is not for that purpose. While taking the maximum meaning of the mantra, at the same time, with a sheer devotion to the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, knowing the meanings of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and then you recite mantras with some techniques to remove your ill health, is possible. But the mantra is primarily for your long-term benefit. It's not just for the short-term benefit. One time, one of my friends early morning called me. Geshe, I'm going to give up Buddhism. I'm going to give up Buddhism. I said, okay, it's fine. Right. And I said, yeah, no, I'm going to give up Buddhism. Oh, it's fine, it's fine. No, I'm going to give up Buddhism. I said, what happened? Why are you going to give up Buddhism? May I know the reason? And she said that all these last 3 years I've been praying to Buddha, I've been praying to Tara. Okay, so I'm praying to Buddha, I've been praying to Tara. Please give a job to my sister. And all these 3 years my prayers were not answered. I said that I see this is the reason why you become a Buddhist. So that your sister gets a job. Right? I said that if you want your sister to get a job, don't become a Buddhist. If you're hungry, don't become a Buddhist, go to kitchen. If you want your sister to get a job, don't become a Buddhist. Tell your sister, study well, don't go to the pubs. Don't go to nightclubs. Study well, sit for the competitive exams, crack the exams and get a decent job. You don't become Buddhist. So this is what I told. So the purpose is that these mantras, don't expect some miracles there to fulfill your mundane benefits. If you are very serious with these mantras, with the meanings, then the mundane benefits are going to be accomplished as a side benefit. Automatically they will be accomplished. But the meanings, the main purpose should not be missed. So, for this matter, we need to know the meanings. If you don't know the meanings, then without the mantras, the benefits are going to be much less. The benefits are going to be cut. So the point is that, in other words, in Buddhism, mantras, practices, rituals, whatever you do, make it a point that you know the meaning. If you don't know the meaning, you don't have to do it simply because that this is the ritual or this is a custom. It's not necessary that you have to do it. Okay, this is what I'd like to share with you. So with this in mind, say, once you know this meaning of this mantra, this is so precious, and it is like, let's say, that which do you think is better? If I give you two options, one is the where that you are somebody who is suffering from poverty, and there's acute problem of hunger, and you seek help of somebody, and a person gives you a bread today, a bread gives you a bread tomorrow. And most likely, as long as the person is there, the person is so kind to give you bread every day. This is one possibility, but not sure how long the person will be there. The next thing is that the person will teach you a skill whereby you know how to get this bread yourself, how to find the bread yourself, by yourself. Of the two choices, which one will you go for? Those who said second one, raise hands. Wonderful, I'm so glad. Okay, so mantra recitations, particularly this mantra, after you know the meaning, it is like you knowing the skill to find the bread yourself, and then you teach the skill to other beings. By sharing this mantra with other people, it is like sharing the skill that we learned to other people, to other sentient beings, animals, human beings, insects, honey ghosts, hell beings, god and goddesses, spirits. Because all the beings share this mantra, not like giving them bread, but giving them the skills to free them to teach them how to free themselves from the miseries and lead to the ultimate happiness, and to share this light with the other beings infinitely. Okay, so with this in mind, when you go to, say, once you know this mantra, you know the meaning of the mantra, then you go you take a flight on an airplane. From the airplane down, you will see millions of how many tiny lights are there. So all there are millions of people there, and under the ocean, you see your flight is going over the ocean. How many trillions and trillions of creatures are there? And forests, how many insects, animals, wildlife are there, vegetations. Just pray for all these beings. Recite this mantra. Just you by reciting the mantra once, the millions and trillions of people, they get this benefit. And your sense of compassion, your compassion will grow, and Bodhicitta, which we're going to learn from tomorrow, we'll see that it requires time for you to feel the germination of that experience. And for that, what is that time? That time to expand this love and affection towards others. So this, sharing this mantra with all the beings, it is like sharing your, compassion, expanding your compassion towards others. Okay. So reciting this when you're on the airplane, when you're on the car, the bus, walking the forest, recite this mantra for all the creatures there. That's going to be extremely beneficial. Okay, with this in mind, even the title of this, even the mantra, it is referred to as the essence of the dependent origination mantra. Om, so this syllable Om, originally it's not there, but if you want to add it, there's no harm in it. If you add it, then this Om, it comes in many mantras. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om is there. Then the many of the mantras, they begin with the syllable Om. This Om is constituted of 3 letters. A, U, Ma. And these 3 letters, they symbolize your body, speech and mind, and the body, speech and mind of the Buddhas. Buddhas in ways that when you become a Buddha, your body, so A, U, Ma, A symbolizes the impure body of yours and the pure body of you when you become a Buddha. It symbolizes the Buddha bodies, pure and impure. Then the U, Ma, U symbolizes the speech, your impure body, your impure speech right now, and the pure speech that you're going to attain when you become a Buddha. It symbolizes both. Then Ma symbolizes the pure mind of you when you become Buddha, the impure mind of you now. So, as you recite this Om, it should remind us that, okay, I should transform this impure body, speech and mind into the pure form of the body, speech and mind very soon. This is what we should be reminded of. Om. How? This next question. How? Ye dharma, these phenomena, all experiences of happiness, all experiences of pains that we go through, experience of pain, happiness that we go through, all these phenomena, dharma meaning phenomena, phenomena of happiness, phenomena of pain, particularly the phenomena of pain, they don't arise randomly, they arise from the respective causes. Ye dharma, ye these, dharma phenomena, hetu cause, hetu is a cause, prabhava, arise. These phenomena arise from causes. Ye dharma hetu prabhava. Hetum tesham tathagato hyavatat. Hetum is a plural form of cause. Plural form of hetu. The cause. Hetum tesham. These causes. Hetum tesham tathagato. Tathagato is a Buddha. Tathagato hyavatat. Hyavatat is taught or indicated, taught, spoke or indicated. These causes are taught by the Tathagata. Hetum tesham tathagato hyavatat. Tesham chayo. Tesham is these, chayo is whatever of these causes. The causes implicitly indicated there, whatever these, which these, cause of the sufferings. These, nirodha. Nirodha is the cessation, stopping, ceasing. Whatever of these causes, the cessation of which, nirodha cessation, evam, is thus. Thus, Vati, again, taught. Taught, Mahashamana. Maha is the great, Shamana is the seer, taught by the great seer. Ye Svaha is established thus. Is established as thus. Okay, in simple terms, all these miseries, these phenomena of the miseries arise from the causes. What these causes are is taught by the Tathagata. And bringing the cessation of these causes is also taught by the great seer. This is established. Okay, this is the meaning. So with this in mind, and so in this we just went through the cursory form of the understanding of this mantra, and from tomorrow we learn. Say it says what the causes of the miseries are is taught by the Tathagata. What are the causes? So this is all we learn in the classes from tomorrow. And how to bring an end to these causes. How to bring an end to these causes. How to bring an end to the suffering. This also we're going to learn in the course of this 7-day program. Okay, we'll say this mantra together 3 times. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum tesham dathagato yavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashamanaye svaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum tesham dathagato yavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashamanaye svaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum tesham dathagato yavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashamanaye svaha. Okay, we'll turn to page 30 or 31. I think 31. Heart Sutra mantra. This Heart Sutra mantra, this again, you have to know the meaning. And hopefully, given that we have the several sessions, hopefully, I will also do the teaching of the Heart Sutra as a part of this. Heart Sutra and also the 12 links of dependent origination, hopefully. Yeah. And here the meaning, this is the surface meaning is Tatyatha. Tibetans we read it as Tyatha. It's not the correct one. The actual version should be easier Sanskrit. The Sanskrit version is Tatyatha. Tatyatha means here is thus. Here is thus. Tatyatha. But the Tibetans we recited as Tyatha. And we want to know why this deterioration happened. It's because of the sound. And I don't want to go into this detail here. Same again, Om, you want to add it, you don't want to add it, it's up to you. Gate gate is go go. Gate gate is Sanskrit. Gate gate is go go. Paragate is go beyond. Parasangate, go utterly beyond. Bodhi swaha, establish your enlightenment. Let me say this again. Gate gate, go go. Paragate, go beyond. Parasangate, go utterly beyond. Bodhi swaha, establish your enlightenment. Enlightenment meaning where, okay, this is good. We're going to study more detail from tomorrow. Okay, the point is that the say we see that there are 5 points indicated there. Gate, gate, paragate, parasangate, bodhi swaha. The 5 are there. These five are referred to as the 5 paths. 5 paths, the way to enlightenment. The 5 paths to enlightenment. Okay. I will recite it together 5 times. Teta Om Gade Gade Paragade Parasam Gade Bodhi Swaha Tyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swaha Tyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swaha Tyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swaha Tyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swaha. Okay, let us turn to page 52, dedication prayer. Okay, the Tibetan great masters of the past, they always emphasize the need for us to remember 2 things. One is setting a proper motivation. At the beginning, setting proper motivation, and at the end, dedicating virtues properly. So dedicating virtues properly is considered very important for the reason that it is like saying that somebody give you a huge amount of money. So what are you going to do with this money? Then you said, okay, I'm going to go for holiday. Then you just finish this off within 1 or 2 weeks' time. Whereas if somebody is more thoughtful, okay, I'm going to use this for the education purpose, to help the poor people, or charity, or to set up some clinics, hospitals, and so forth. So there, we see that depending on how you direct this whole amount of the money. So with explaining the meaning of the Yedharma mantra, explaining the mantra, the meaning of Harshvit mantra, and so forth, we accumulate so much of merit. Merit is the mental money, mental resources. So now the question is, where are you going to use this? So dedicate means I dedicate this merit for this purpose, so that this merit will not go waste. Otherwise it can be damaged. Damaged when anger arises, your merit accumulation can easily be damaged by the anger, so that your merit accumulation is not going to be damaged by the negative thoughts. So we dedicate the merits properly. Okay, so let us pray. That is Holiness the Dalai Lama. That is Holiness the Dalai Lama, the source of happiness and joy on this earth today, that he lives long and that his wishes be fulfilled spontaneously. And let us also pray that all the Dharma centers from the different traditions, from the Sakya, Kagyu, Nyingma, Gelug, Chinese tradition, Tibetan tradition, Theravada tradition, where the authentic traditions of Buddha flourish, in whatever tradition it is, may these traditions thrive in the activities of study, reflection, and meditation. And let us also dedicate merits that all the people who died with COVID-19, died with this Ukraine war, and died for other reasons as well. Let's also pray that they take a favorable birth, meeting with the teaching on Bodhicitta and the teaching wisdom of emptiness, so that each one of them becomes a light, the beacon of ultimate happiness for all the dear sentient beings. And let's also pray that people who are sick, who are hospitalized, who are going through such their dire situations, the ill health and so forth, let's pray that they soon recover from the various problems, the ill health and so forth. They meet with the parents, the children, and they experience the bounties of the Dharma. And let me also dedicate the merits that's gathered, that each one of you, through a concerted effort in the study and reflection and meditation for the next 7 days, may you soon see the dawn of the Bodhicitta and the wisdom of emptiness within you, so that each one of you becomes such a reliable guide to lead all dear sentient beings towards ultimate happiness. May the teaching on Bodhicitta, may the teaching wisdom and emptiness thrive in the minds of all dear sentient beings. And may the leaders of the world leaders of all the countries, may they be inspired by the blessings of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, that they resort to dialogue instead of wars, conflicts, and expansionism. So with this in mind, let us turn to page 52. I dedicate the merit thus gathered towards the realization that is in the prayers of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of 3 times, and to the upholding of the doctrine of scripture and insight. May in all lives, through the force of this merit, never separate from the 4 wheels of the Mahayana vehicle, and accomplish all the stages of the path, renunciation, bodhicitta, and the 2 stages. For my 2 collections, vast of space that I have amassed from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief raging Buddha for all those whose minds wisdom eyes blinded by ignorance.